right, guys, what a pleasure this is. Our next guest is the reigning, undisputed UFC welterweight champion who's preparing for his next title shot against Shavkat. And when? Let's find out. Belal Muhummad, welcome back to Submission Radio, man. What an honor and pleasure it is to have you back on the program.
Appreciate you for having me, brother. Appreciate you. Glad to be back.
So tell me, man, how you feeling? How you feeling? Like when we saw the foot infection stuff, it was insane. How are you feeling right now? And how are you recovered? Is it all better now?
Yeah, still doing a little bit of therapy, but prefer pretty much being able to fully train now and everything. So, yeah, we're getting back to normal. For me, it was like 6 weeks off of doing absolutely nothing, having to just take antibiotics, and then once I'm off the antibiotics, it took a while just to get back to normal, and then foot's finally like flexing and moving, and yeah, hoping to be back, I think, fully to 100% within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Is it true you considered amputating your toe or something crazy like this?
Yeah, I was it was a middle toe, so then I was like, your first UFC main event, you don't want, your first title defense, you don't want to pull out of a fight. I never pull out of fights, and I was like, what can I do? Do I need this? Do I not need this? And then the doctor's like, bro, it's going all the way to your bone. It's like in your foot now. So yeah, but thankfully we still got our foot. We still got our toe.
Did you ever watch the episode of Seinfeld where the chick loses her pinky toe?
No.
Okay. We'll watch it. Then we'll have to do another interview down the track about it. What was it like for you watching Ian and Shavkat fight and not being able to be in there and actually fight Shavkat yourself?
It sucked because I had a lot of people, a lot of family that bought like flights and tickets and stuff like that. So to be able to pull out and to be in the arena and know that you should have been in there, it's hard. But God has a plan. God has a reason for everything. And for me, it's just trusting it and knowing that there's His plan is better than my plan. So to be in there, it was good just to be able to just watch more tape, right? Regardless, more tape on any opponent that you have is always a good thing. So to be able to sit there and watch them two fight and watch 25 minutes of it, yeah, it did nothing but help me.
It's actually pretty interesting, right? What did you learn about both guys? Because I feel like for a lot of people, Ian Garry did better than what many people thought. And then there were some people who felt like they expected more from Shavkat. But of course, Ian Garry's always a tough test. So it's not like an easy fight or anything.
Yeah, people are always they have their opinions beforehand, right? And if you don't do what they think you would have did, they think you suck. For me, they're both top 5 in the welterweight division, and it's hard because they're both teammates before. They both used to train together, so you have an idea of what this guy's gonna do or what you think you could do or how it went in the gym. And from what happens in the gym and what happens in a cage are two different things. So there's not a lot really you could take from it. There's little things, little patterns you could take from it, but I think people are just thinking too hard or too deep into the whole situation, right? It's like if Shavkat didn't get a finish, he sucks. If Ian lasted that long, Ian's better than we thought. But they're both undefeated. They're both top 5 guys, and people I think they underestimated Ian and they overestimate Shavkat.
And I think Shavkat had like a knee injury afterwards, we found out. Let me ask you about Ian first. What do you think the future holds for him? Are you impressed with what you saw? And do you think he makes his way to a title shot against you one day?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I've been impressed by Ian. I think stylistically, he's smart. He's a smart fighter. He always figures out a way to win. When I'm looking at the landscape of the division, I think he'll stay at the top. There's only a couple guys in there that I think will be like tough matches for him. Honestly, I think the toughest probably guy that's for these guys probably Sean Brady, because he has grappling and he has striking, and he showed his last fight his cardio. So I think him staying away from him, he'll be able to stay in the top 5.
You mentioned both guys knew each other from training and they sparred together, but is there anything at all that you can take away from this latest Shavkat performance that you saw against Ian Garry?
You get extra 25 minutes of watching a guy, it's always a good thing, but it's more so just checking out the patterns and checking out the things that we thought we saw beforehand. It solidified a lot of the stuff that we thought we were going to do. So once we go into the fight with him, we'll be able to exploit it and show what we could do with it. But just the extra 25 minutes, right? People beforehand, you think that he's RoboCop and he's gonna walk through everybody. So the fact that Shavkat didn't walk through Ian, now you have people thinking that he sucks, or people that are thinking, or people thinking that it's gonna be an easy fight, right? But for me, it doesn't really matter. I always have my mindset of place where I'm fighting the best version of whoever I'm gonna fight, and I'm never gonna look past anybody. But having an extra 25 minutes of shot clock's only a bad thing for him.
Do you still feel like the prediction that you gave me earlier about sort of dominating him and potentially finishing him is still something that you feel like is going to happen, or do you feel like the fight goes a little bit different?
No, 100%. I think, like I said, I think I'm the best welterweight in the division, the best welterweight in the world right now. So when I look at all these guys and I look at both of that fight, I think it just made me more confident, showing myself that I am better than everybody in the division. And when I have my chance to show the world, I'm gonna show them. And then when I do fight Shavkat, I am gonna be the first man to beat him, the first man to finish him.
What did you think of Joaquin Buckley, man? It had an opponent change last minute, fought Colby Covington. He looked pretty good. Do you think he's someone down the track that could contend for the title? Were you impressed with what you saw?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Kobe sucks. He's not very good at all. And I think Buckley was close to putting the nail in the coffin. If it would have lasted those extra 2 rounds, people would have realized that Kobe is finished. But I think the doctor gave Kobe life, right? Where he could say, "Oh, I was just starting to wake up. I was just starting to do this or that." He's never gonna beat anybody again. I don't think he's actually probably never gonna fight again because he realized how bad he was. He could have every excuse in a book. But I do think Buckley stylistically matches up well with a lot of these guys that are in the top 5. Um, he's explosive. He has knockout power. He has grappling. He has wrestling. He showed that he has takedown defense, and I think his cardio was holding up very well too. So, yeah, I think Buckley's up there. It just all depends on how they match up these guys next, right? Because there's a lot of guys in division, and after Shavkat, there's not really a clear next contender. When you're looking at the guys, you have uh, JDM, but I think they're talking about him and Leon. Then you're having Buckley. You don't know who he's gonna fight. You're still waiting to see who Brady's gonna fight. You got Pratas in there in the mix too, and you got old man Kamaru still sticking to the podcast name pound for pound just so he stays relevant.
Do you think we see Kamaru back this year and fighting?
Maybe. I think he's just waiting to see the landscape and like kind of like Kobe. Once he just saw how Kobe just got dismantled, I think he realized that this next generation of welterweights are good, and the longer you sit out, the worse it's going to be for you, right? Because when you're sitting out, these other guys are getting better. These other guys are hungry. Like he just came out saying that all these welterweights are stupid that are calling me out, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, you're number 2 or number 3 in the division. Like they're calling out the guys at the top of the division. Like how could you be mad at that or call them that? Like if you're really hungry, if you really think that you're the top of the guy, you want to fight the next best guy, right? You want to stay in the mix by beating these next hungry guys. So like you can't take offense to it. Like people will tell me all the time, like, "Oh, you take offense that these guys calling you out?" I'm like, I'm the guy with the bulls on my back. I'm the guy with the belt. They want what I want. They want what I got. So they come and try to take it, but they won't.
Mm. What do you think of all these rumors about Jorge Masvidal re-entering your division, wanting to have another crack eventually? What was your reaction when you saw he was coming back potentially?
I mean, I don't think he was like old or like finished when he left, right? I think he just had a couple of losses in a row, and once you start getting all that money like he was getting, you get to the point of like, all right, let me see if I could try something else or try boxing or. But I think that once these guys leave, they realize that like the UFC was the best thing they had, right? The UFC's still the best promotion. All this fake other stuff on the outside, it's like smoke and mirrors. But
Mm.
they know that Dana's the best promoter. The UFC is going to push him the hardest, and they're going to make the most money in the UFC. So I think that he's like, all right, I got a couple more left in me. So I mean, I hope he comes back. Right, he's a huge name in the division. He's a big name. So if he gets a couple wins going, I'm sure they'll put him at the top of the title list right away.
I mean, obviously you've got a lot of respect for him, but if he does land against you with a win or two, how would that fight look like for him, would you say?
I mean, like I said, I'm the best guy in the world right now. Masvidal is literally probably one of my favorite fighters to watch coming up. I always love the way he fought, love the style and everything like that. So
Do you have
it
a
was
favorite
cool.
Masvidal fight that stands out to you? Or?
Yeah, I gotta admit, my favorite Masvidal fight is one that's like awkward. It's him against Lorenz Larkin. That was a really good back and forth fight. So that was always one of the fights that I would always go back and rewatch. But yeah, he was another guy, right? He never like changed. He was always like the same personality. It just finally caught on to the fans. He had that 1 year where it blew his name up out the water, and he like it wasn't just like a fake persona or anything. He was still the same person. So it was cool to see someone like that later on in his career blow up.
Mm. Dude, I gotta say, it's a big weekend coming up for your friends Umar and teammates Umar and Islam, as they're both on the same card in a pretty historic UFC 311. I know you've been recovering from that foot injury, but have you had a chance at all to train with the boys leading into this one?
I was actually just in Vegas for the last 2 weeks. So to be able to go down there, train, work, and watch, and just be in that room full of the energy, right? Umar's
Mm.
first title fight, and I just know how he feels because I was just there. Islam's another title defense, and then they got Tagira in there too. That's also has a big fight on the same card. So for Khabib, he's got three guys that he's cornering, but they all look great. They all look hungry. The room is full of killers, like I said, and I think I'm excited to see how they perform next week. Um, I do think that all three of them are going to win. I do think that all three of them have clear, easy path to victory. So I think that Habib's going to start the year off big.
Mm. I know the first Arman fight, there were a couple of exchanges that were kind of close, and people are wondering what this second rematch between Islam and Arman's going to look like this coming weekend in Los Angeles. What do you think this second fight looks like? I know Javier Mendez told me, for example, Islam wasn't 100% in the first fight. He was a little bit sick and wasn't at the top of his game. But obviously, Arman's also had a lot of improvements in his game as well going into this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arman's really good, right? I do think he's the second best lightweight in the division. When I'm looking at the first fight, right, that's another great fight to go back and rewatch. But Islam did look sick. Islam didn't look the same, but I do think that Islam has grown so much since that fight, regardless. And when you're looking at similar opponents, what Islam did to Oliveira, what Arman did to Oliveira, it's way different. I do think that Islam is just on another level than all these lightweights. I do think that he's just that much better everywhere, and he keeps getting better every fight. And when the only really rematch that we've seen Islam in, his second fight with Volk, he finished him. So I think this fight, he's trying to come out and do the same exact thing where he wants to put a stamp on it. The first Volk fight was close. So he's like, all right, well, let me show you guys how much better I am than him. The first Arman fight was close. So now I think he's going to put another stamp on it.
Mm. What about Umar, man? Unbelievable stuff. He had the arm injury, but he still put his hand up to fight Merab. How was he looking in training? And people are going, well, will the arm injury be a factor, or does it impact training at all? But Umar's sort of on another level, right? He's not someone that would be as affected by this as some of the other fighters that might be in the same position.
Yeah, 100%. Umar's so good. And yeah, I don't think there was nothing really that I saw at all that made me think that there was something wrong with him. He looked great. We were there his last sparring day on Wednesday, and he looked fantastic. I'm excited to watch him. I'm excited to see what he comes up with. And I do think that he's the best bantamweight in the world. I think that stylistically, it's a great matchup for Umar. I think wrestling cancel each other out, but I do think that Umar's a way better striker and a way better grappler than Merab. And I don't know, Merab just didn't seem like he wants the fight, right? It just seemed like he's he didn't want this date. He didn't want this matchup. He was trying to get somebody else to step in or fight somebody else. So I just don't think mentally he's as motivated as he was for the O'Malley fight.
What do you make of Merab obviously like trying to fight Umar in the back, fighting fans, Umar fans in the crowd, and sort of trying to, in his last fight, trying to fight Tim Welch in the corner, kind of in the middle of the fight. What do you make of this Merab lately? Because I saw Khabib was doing an interview with Red Corner MMA, and he mentioned that maybe the pressures of being a champion are getting to Merab. What's your reaction to some of the Merab antics we've seen of late?
I mean, I think he's just trying to do the same thing what he did with the O'Malley fight, right? When you get to that point where you've had such a big streak and they didn't want to give you the title shot, so then you became the social media guy and you started making these videos and you're like, all right, now people are starting to like me, people are starting to want me more. So then you're trying to like level that one up. And with O'Malley, it's easy, right? Because O'Malley's gonna go back and talk trash to you, but like with Umar, it's you really can't, because I know he's trying to make this thing a beef, but there's really nothing there because Umar's probably the nicest guy in the world when I think about it, and I don't think that there's really that beef. Like he's mad that Umar called him out, but like I said, you're the champion now. Everybody's gonna call you out. You got the bullseye on your back, so you can't look at it as disrespect. You just got to be like, all right, let's go. I'm next. Who's next? Right? Because your next guy is always gonna be the number one contender. I think that for him, you have those champions that'll pick and choose who they want to fight and think that they could have like the easier path or that path, but there's guys that have to fight the next best guy every single time, and Merab is that guy. But there's the fake stuff that you're just trying to create. It's just like, bro, just focus on a fight. The fight's gonna be great regardless. You don't need to have no crazy buildup or anything like that. The fans want to watch it. They want to watch the styles.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an incredible card. I was doing a bit of a preview show for 2025 with the Luke Thomas, and I was having a bit of a chat about, what's going to be happening this year. And one of the things we always talk about is, people moving up, going to different divisions. And I just want to come back to you because obviously you want to stay active this year. You want to get a couple of title defenses in welterweight. But if things go to plan and you get these couple of title defenses, do you think it's possible that we might see you have a crack at the middleweight division at the start of next year, or potentially even at the end of next year? If you get Shavkat and potentially the next contender out of the way, or is that more of a thing for a few more title defenses from now?
No, 100%. I think just because the way that the path that I had to get before I even got a title shot, right? I had to take the long road, and I have probably, I think, 4 or 5 top 10 wins right now. So when I'm looking at the division and I think of the matchups, if Leon beats JDM, all right, I already beat Leon. If Sean Brady gets one of these next other contenders, I already beat Sean Brady. So after Shavkat, it's trying to see who that next guy is. And if I beat that next guy, then I think that it does give me the ability to move up just because I've had to fight so many top 10 guys. And especially if Strickland figures out a way to win, I would definitely want to go up there and smack him around.
That would be a crazy fight. Do you think he can do it? And do you hope that he does it so you guys can have this, you can get this chance to fight him for the belt?
No, I don't hope he does it. I hope he loses, and I hope he gets knocked out and put unconscious and doesn't wake up. But regardless, I would always still want to move up to fight him, whether he has the belt or not. That would always be a fight that I would say yes to.
Some of these tweets and the back and forths, Belal, would you say it's at a point where it's starting to get personal with Sean Strickland for you?
No, I mean, it's personal. The guy's just an airhead. He's literally the definition of trailer trash. That's what he is. So when he says all this dumb stuff, people need to make him pay for it. Like there's just so many people nowadays, like I said, the Twitter people that are just happy to see it, right? And he knows it because he can't get attention other than saying dumb things. So he has to say stupid, wild stuff because nobody cares about him without it. It's kind of like a Kobe Covington. Nobody cared about him before he started saying dumb stuff. So Strickland's trying to level it up even more so he could just have that wow factor because his fights suck. Like he always talks about, I'm going to kill this guy or we're going to go to war. And it's literally just a teep fest. So I think that he knows that he sucks. So that's why he goes out there and he says this dumb stuff.
All right, guys, it's time for a new year and a new you, thanks to our friends at Manscaped. Have you sorted all the best products to get you looking good downstairs and all over your body in 2025? Performance Package 5.0 Ultra by Manscaped is your secret weapon for stepping into 2025 sharp, clean, and confident. Don't be the guy that rolls into January looking like you just emerged from hibernation. Let the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 handle your overgrowth so you can focus on leveling up. Start 2025 with precision, because the only thing that should be growing this year is your success and not your scruff. Join the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Use the code word submission now. Keep this show going. Get 20% off and free shipping today. Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the all-in-one grooming kit. Of course, I mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is the best tool you could have. It also comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer. Full aftercare, which helps you treat yourself right with the crop soother, and the crop preserver keeps you fresh and comfortable and confident, so you're always ready to move forward. And you get some free gift. Kick off the year with a bonus that elevates your routine. The Boxers 2.0, which I love to wear. They're one of the most comfortable boxers you can wear. And the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag, which I take with me everywhere I go. Manscaped has a 30-day money-back guarantee as well, so you can try it risk-free right now. Use the code word submission. Go right now, 20% off and free shipping. And I just want to talk to you guys about SAILY as well. SAILY is an unbelievable app that's going to change the game forever when it comes to travel, and you want to be covered with your phone. Forget lining up at airports and having to get a new SIM, taking your SIM out, keeping it in a little baggie, making sure you don't lose it. Forget all of that. SAILY has you sorted. All you got to do is download the app, choose the amount that you want to spend, what country you want to go to, and boom, like that, you are sorted. I just went to New Zealand. I was absolutely covered. I didn't want to spend the $10 or $20 or $30 a day that I was going to have to spend because of my provider. I put in an amount. It had me covered the entire time, and I even still have data left over because it was so smooth and easy. One of the things I love about SAILY as well that you may not realize is it actually comes with an ad blocker. So if you are watching videos or doing stuff on the internet, why waste your data on ads? The ad blocker has you sorted, and it comes with web protection as well. You know, malware on your device is the last thing you need on your travels, and SAILY gets you sorted and protected too. So why not jump on right now, use the code word submission, get 15% off. All you gotta do is download the app, choose your destination, where you wanna go, the amount of money you wanna spend, activate it on your phone without having to take out your SIM card, without having to line up at airports, without having to re-sign different documents. SAILY has you sorted, whether you need a little bit of data or a lot of data, whatever your plan is, SAILY has you covered wherever you go in the world. Go on right now, check out the app. It's the most seamless and easiest process when it comes to travel eSIMs that you can experience. Use the code word submission, 15% off. Jump on right now. What are you waiting for? Grab your SAILY today. If you're traveling tomorrow, next month, get it sorted today. Use the code word submission while it's still active. It's 15% off. SAILY.com/submission gets you sorted. Try it today, whether it's a lot of data, small amount of data. SAILY has you sorted. Easy, seamless, highly recommended. Now back to the program. I mentioned it before that looks like the fight that could happen. Who do you think would win that fight?
I think stylistically, I would give it to Leon, just because he could keep it at kicking range, and JDM's more of just a boxer. And he doesn't really have a takedown threat. So for staying at that kicking range, it'll be Leon. But I just don't know mentally how he's going to come back, right? Because when the guy loses after going 8-9 years without a loss, it's hard to come back from that. So we'll see if Leon still has that hunger. We'll see if he still has that drive to want to be at the top again. And because we know JDM still has that drive.
Got a question here from Left Lane MMA. Who do you think is the biggest threat in the division, and who do you think will hold the belt once you move up to middleweight, or say potentially call it a day many, many years from now? Is there anyone that stands out that you're impressed with? Obviously, you're fighting Shavkat. We spoke about JDM. There's Prades, Buckley, Brady, Morales, and maybe some other people that aren't on that list. Anyone that you think is a big threat or could potentially be champion after you're done?
Yeah, I don't think enough people are talking about Morales. Michael Morales is really good. I've trained with him. He's athletic. He's strong. He's powerful. He's got really good wrestling. And I think Brady probably has the second best style for the division. He has wrestling. He has grappling. He has cardio. And he has strength. And he looked really good his last couple fights.
Awesome, man. And Dogs going crazy in the background. Last question from Knockout of the Day. If Khabib fought GSP, how do you see the fight playing out? I find that to be a fascinating question because you've been in the training room with Khabib. You've seen him do his thing. I guess it's one of those fights like, Fedor or Randy Couture, one of those epic fights that we never got a chance to see. But how do you think that would have played out if it did happen?
Honestly, to me, I think Khabib is the best to ever do it, right? I think that when you look at the way he fought, the way that he grappled, it was hard. GSP obviously was the best welterweight to do it, right? I just think that when I'm looking at both styles, I don't think GSP would have been able to take down Khabib, but I do think that Khabib will be able to take him down and keep him there. I've seen Khabib go with some of the best guys in the world, some big guys too, and he's hard to get up from underneath. And his ground and pound is so good. His top game is just so strong, and people I think also sleep on his stand up. Right, he had really good boxing, really good hands, and he really got hit. So I think I would definitely go with Khabib.
Mm. You've grappled with Khabib and stuff. Does he feel like the greatest or the best grappler you've sort of trained with?
Yeah, 100%. That's why I love training or going to train with him, right? Because it keeps you humble, it keeps you locked in, and it keeps you grounded. Because I could have the belt and I could be like, oh, I'm the best in the world. I don't got to do this or I don't got to do that. I don't got to put myself in uncomfortable positions. But I love going to train with those guys because they don't care who you are. There's no name tags and there's no like hierarchy there. It's everybody's on the mat, everybody's working hard, everybody's grinding. So to get beat up by who I think is the best, it just makes me want to work that much harder and know that I still got a lot more room for improvement.
All right, man. Well, we're excited for the big return, you versus Shavkat, and the fight that everybody wants to see. So ideally, I know you mentioned, a few weeks, you're back at it, you're going to be doing your thing. What date would you like ideally? What month? Is there a specific time period this year that you'd love to return? I know when I spoke to Shavkat, he's in no rush, so he seems like he's pretty chill about it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just getting back to normal, getting back in the gym where my body just feels normal and regular. Then we can start a camp. Definitely before summer, I think. That would make them be the best timeline for me after Ramadan. And yeah, I think to a point where I could get at least 2 to 3 fights in this year would be perfect.
Perfect, man. 2025, the year of Belal Muhammad. Thank you so much, champ. I appreciate you. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Thank you, brother. Happy New Year.